Last question. Do you have the same co-hosts on your show over this past year, or have they shifted around a little bit?
You don't know?
It's hard for me to keep track. It's hard for me to keep track. But people have pointed it out in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I said I was going to leave this in 2023. And yeah, I think that, you know, fame, success, it comes with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You see it change people. It's going to change you too. I think I just ran into people who didn't want to grow with me, but just wanted to grow themselves. And I was always like, let's grow. And they were like, I want to be bigger than you though. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
So you've had a couple people leave.
Just a couple.
And they've ended up doing interviews about it and everything else like that.
Thank God it's called Math Hoffa's My Expert Opinion Show.
It's tough. It's a tough business to grow and maintain. I think what happened was the Pivot podcast had somewhat of a similar problem.
Yeah.
Where like the two
people start to feel
co-hosts
entitled.
felt like they wanted a percentage, but the main guy didn't want to give a percentage, so they left and everything else like that.
Let's see what happens. What happens when you leave?
Let's see what happens.
Does it grow? Do you grow?
Do you grow? Yeah.
So far, everyone that left didn't grow. That's the consistent factor. They did not grow.
Well, everyone thinks they're a star when they're part of a team. But then when the team breaks up, you get to see who the real stars are.
You start to realize who was throwing the alley-oop.
Yeah.
Every time you dunked it, somebody threw the alley-oop.
Right.
Now when you jump in the air and, wait, there's no ball here.
But you're not the only one that went through this. You know, Adam went through something very similar.
Oh, yeah.
You know, with his guys. And, you know, what I tried to explain to him was that when you have people that work for you, you put them on salary, you pay them fairly, and you also have them sign non-competes.
You said pay them fairly?
Yes. This is not a shot at you. I'm just saying.
No. I'm just saying. You said pay them fairly.
Fairly, right.
You know, you took a totally different, like, that's not the business moniker for the topic that we was just talking about. Fair payment.
Well, I've always, when it comes to capitalism, you pay them fairly, which you feel is fair. So you could ultimately cover your costs and make some sort of profit.
Right. You
know, just like they're making a profit for being part of it. Everyone's making a profit, right? They're not breaking even.
Fairly.
Exactly. You pay them fairly, but you also have them sign non-competes because ultimately you don't want a person to compete with you while they're working for you. Right? And with Adam's case, the people that were working for him were starting their own YouTube channels and started bringing the bigger guests to their own channels as opposed to No Jumper that ultimately created a situation that was not sustainable. You know, someone that works for me is paid fairly, but they can't go and
you sure
with me.
You sure that's, because I'm pretty sure Adam knew about the lives. I'm pretty sure he knew about all that stuff.
He did, but that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if they were pulling guests over there, but
that was the point. Me and him talked about it when he came on my show. That was sort of the problem that started to occur, was that, like, hey, if I'm getting paid already on No Jumper and I got this big guest, I can just bring him to my own platform. I can make more money over here as opposed to bringing home a No Jumper and make the same amount of money. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that, like,
I just don't think Adam thought about that ahead of time.
No, he didn't. Not until I told him.
I thought about that ahead of time, and I told people, don't do it. And they did it anyway.
Did they sign a contract?
Yes.
Well, then you break a contract, and that's the end of that. We've had to let people go when they broke our employment contracts.
Right.
It's just part of business. Not everyone wants to be an employee. Everyone, some people want to be their own boss. And they're welcome to be their own boss, but they just can't be a boss under my umbrella while I'm paying you as an employee. Like that's just the reality of life. Now, if you want to go and create a cooking show or something on your own, then go for it. I don't care about that. But you can't go and start, interviewing artists and using Vlad TV resources.
It's just so unreasonable that in the midst of building what you're building, just because someone might be on another level that you're not on yet, doesn't mean they're not out the woods. Doesn't mean that life is set and this person can stop the growing where he's at and do everything, convert all his time into making sure that you get to his level. It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah. And it all seems easy until you actually do it yourself.
Yeah.
I had a guy. And then
you find out. Oh, snap.
Yeah, no. Like I had a guy that was handling all, people are like, well, how come you don't handle battle rap anymore? Well, because I had a guy that was handling all the battle rap stuff. He ended up quitting. He started his own battle rap channel. And it didn't go anywhere. And he went back to whatever other career he was doing at the time. And that's cool. He saw it wasn't as easy as being under the Vlad TV umbrella and all the work that we had put in for a decade before he showed up. And that's cool. It's fine. Everyone has to figure things out on their own way. And sometimes people come back. We've had employees that left and came back.
Yeah.
Depends on, and it usually depends on how they left.
Right.
Now, if they left under good terms, they could usually come back. If they left under bad terms, then they can't come back.
Yeah. Door closed.
But watching you go through it is like, okay, I remember these growing pains when I was going through it. And you know what I'm saying? You're always welcome to call me and ask me for advice. And, we've had conversations about business and everything else like that. I've always been very embracing of the next generation of interviewers and everything else like that. Not only going on their show, having them on my show, but also having a lot of conversations and sharing my knowledge and everything else like that. I've never been accused of being a hater, on hating on someone else's platform.
Or trying to stop or hoarding information. I'll be honest with you. There's not many people that I can call in this space and get an answer.
I'm one of them.
There's plenty of people I can call, but there's not many people I can call and get an answer.
Yeah.
You are one of them. But there's not many.
And sometimes I don't have an answer. And I'll tell you, I can't help you with this.
Right.
And vice versa.
It is. Yeah.
Sometimes I want access to a guest and you'll be like, yeah, here you go. Or sometimes I can't help you. Sometimes you'll want access to, okay, well, I can give you the contact, but they're going to want a big bag. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you want to do it, just know that this is the road you're going down. And, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I don't care about competition because I feel like we all will do better working with each other than beefing with each other.
Everyone I don't think it's beefing.
It's a form of beef.
It's
not physical beef, but it's beef.
I'm not in competition with Vlad TV.
I'm not in competition.
Not in competition with any other podcast platform. I'm looking at the potential of myself and seeing what can I accomplish here.
Yeah.
That's my thought. I'm not like, oh, who got the interview? Oh, who got I am if I see that's dope. Let me send them a text.
Yeah.
That's fire. You know what I mean? But I'm not in competition. But you start to feel like people are in competition with you sometimes. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's weird.